Welcome back, everyone. So today I'm going to go over a guide I put together for the Onyx Facilities as 4.3 is starting ready to come live. And so under the investigation tab in your contracts, you're going to find that there's the Onyx Facilities you can get a hold of. It's going to start off with just kind of getting some initial investigative files together, personal files. You'll get a facility assigned to you. There's got to be, supposedly there's over hundreds available. So you're just going to head there. There's a large hangar, so you're just going to call for the hangar once you get there and make your way inside. There's going to be kind of a four-way section here as you go through the hangar. To the left is your research, to the right's engineering, and behind that is going to be a medical facility. Do note that the medical facility back here does not actually have respawn capabilities. It's just meant for treating wounds. It is tier 1, so you can treat you should be able to treat all the wounds that you have, but it isn't meant for respawn. If you do die, you're going to respawn back at your spawn location that you have set. You just can't set it here. I have tried to set other vehicles and stuff in here, but I've never respawned back in this facility. It typically makes me go back to my home location. So for this first mission, we're heading down engineering. I'm going to link to Mr. Kraken's posting for Spectrum, just because it was a really good posting and he always does really good information. So this will also go along with this. This is more of a visual guide. Once you get here, you can see there's a fabrication section here. This is good fabrication for the engineering tools you might need for this particular area. And then under the research area, there's some medical sections, fabrications as well. So just be mindful of that if you need these tools, which you might in later parts of this mission. So initially there's just a couple guys here. I do cut out a lot of the NPC combat here just because it cuts out on time. But just this panel here is where you're going to go to. You're going to get the personal files, and that's it. So just killing 2 NPCs. And then you're going to make your way over to the research side, because this completes the engineering kind of intro. If you're wondering who this is really meant for, all in all, this is for Wicklow type of secure drives. There's a new armor in here. There's probably more armor, like FPS stuff in here as well. So it's a pretty good mix of things just for like a Bunker 2.0, but it's largely for like Wicklow rewards. So if you're not interested in Wicklow and you're not interested in new FPS type of gear, then this may not be for you. Once you come up back to the lobby, you want to make your way over to the the research side, and we're going to head down there. I've cut out again, a lot of the traversal and stuff like that. It's going to be a long guide, so I want to try to cut out as much as I can.
I want you to be extra careful inside the Onyx research wing. I'm not exactly sure what you're going to find, but whatever it is, probably best not to think too hard about it. Try to focus on the job at hand.
So this is fairly straightforward. This has more depth to it, the research side, versus the engineering has more of a length to it. It doesn't have all these floors. A couple of them are still in development, and it's really 4 through 9 there anyways. And the 9th floor is really just a final floor before you cut back up. That's the other kind of 4 that are somewhat usable. Behind the desk here, you're just going to go ahead and click on this, and this is the access file, personal files on the research side, and that's it.
Right.
That completes the first mission, and then you can leave the facility. Unfortunately, you do have to leave in order to complete the mission fully. After doing so, you're going to have another engineering objective where you have to come through. You're going to go back downstairs like you did before, but this time we're actually going to pass through, and there's a couple voice recordings we're going to have to get, one on the engineering side and then one on the research side. So we're going to start with that engineering one. You don't get a choice. That's the one you have to start with next. So the second mission in this chain, there's a chain of about 7 missions. You may or may not have the worm to fight, and even if the worm is here, you can technically just duck behind these pillars here if you want to. But we're going to head off to the left here. Once you've killed the NPCs and decided if you do or don't want to kill the worm, just continue through the hallway to get to the engineering facility here. If you'd like, also just feel free to loot stuff along the way. Now do be mindful other players can be here as well, but typically speaking, most of the players I've been interacted with, a couple I've had to kill unfortunately, but most of the players I've interacted with have been people that are just looking to do the same kind of missions, so it's been fairly friendly interactions. These lockers here is where you're looking to go. And there's another fabrication for again if you need it. Again, open this up and you're going to play this file, and that's it for this mission. You have to leave the facility, but after that you can take up the next mission, which is going to be the 3rd mission, and it's going to be over on the research side. But again, same kind of idea. We're just looking for the main guy. I don't want to give up, I'm not giving up too much of the story, but you're looking for the main guy that we've been kind of following since the worm facility that was introduced. Was that last patch? 2 patches ago, maybe even? I think the worm's been out for a while now. make your way downstairs. There's only one option here. This is the way you have to go. So you're now on the 7th floor, I believe. And this is the floor where we're going to end up picking up the next track. Be mindful of NPCs, be mindful of other players. Try not to maybe leave your light on. It is dark in here. If you can maybe turn your brightness up, that might be better than leaving your light on and, you know, ringing the dinner bell, if you will. Make your way down the hallway here. There aren't any NPCs. The next room does have kind of snipers across the way on the left side, so be mindful of them. You can kind of duck behind this wall here. There's a glass panel here, so this guy can't attack you. Feel free to loot, take a look at the stuff. I mean, there's a cool blade and stuff here. Continue through, and we're going to find our way downstairs. We ultimately need to get to another 3-way cross section that's going to be down here. I had a better scope on this thing. I really just had a reflex sight. Comes up more like a reflex sight, if you will. There's always a lot of NPCs down here as well. Take note of this stairway because you're going to come back down here again for the next mission. Make our way around to the left here. This little entryway we're about to go to is very important. It's a nice exit as well. If you jump down to the next floor, there's an exit here, but this is, we're looking to go into this room. There's also an armory here, and I'll show you how to get into the armory too if you're interested in it. So be mindful of mines. I haven't seen too many mines, but that one was kind of being glitchy. Hopefully they fix some of that stuff in the live build. So I just pop a grenade, because the line has gone away, but it hasn't gone off. I didn't see a whole lot of mines, but they do show up from time to time. Back there is the armory, but you're just going to open this up and press the button again like you did on the other side. But from here you can go back around the back side. There's a bathroom, and you'll see a panel. Just turn around and you can jump up here to the vent, and that'll get you to the armory. There's the pulse sniper rifle here, as well as just kind of other stuff in there if you want to take a look at this place. Feel free to loot it as much as you'd like. And then once you've looted up what you want, head back out the doorway. As I mentioned before, there's a nice little spot to jump down from, so just if you miss it, if you go down to the 9th floor, there's an exit there as well. There's an elevator on the 9th, on the atrium down there, but ideally you can make this jump and make your way back out. We'll use the same footage, to be honest, a couple times actually. Matter of fact, this is from a different mission as it is. You can head back up to the lobby, so this is one of the better ways to get out from the research side. Or back over the engineering side. This actually is going to require repair, so you can loot a lot of these boxes around here. They typically have the SRT Cambio canisters if you need them. Ideally you want one full as well. If not, you can try to scrape up the pipes nearby. So a tip you'll need here is you might need to hit the J button to customize your weapon, because I'm having trouble with the Cambio tool working properly. So you usually have to hit J, like I'm going to do here, and then you can adjust the magazine, because it's not working. The reload's not working for me, at least in the PTO, unless they fix that before live. So again, you're just using J here to pick the right canister. One of these will be assigned to you. You'll just go ahead and repair it, and then from there you can print the drive. Now, this also is going to be the first time you're going to get secure drives as a reward, which you can turn in for Wicklow. You're going to get 5 here, if I'm not mistaken, which is really nice. And this itself is not a secure drive, so I wouldn't keep this one for Wicklow. Then you can make your way through the equipment area, and I'll show you where the exit is on this side. Juvenile worms and stuff like that all spawn. If you want to take them out, you can. Otherwise, don't worry about them. There are usually NPCs in here, so just be ready for that. Remember, back to the lockers. That's where we were. Just keep going down there. There's going to be a storage room on the left. Just keep going past all of that. Alright, got the storage room just yet. But here's the storage room. Keep going past it. There's lockers there, and so if you want to take a look for, again, the sniper tools. The sniper rifles are in right here. The new Volt sniper rifle, which I do like. And then this time you actually, for the next few missions, you have to turn these in. And keep note of these last 4 missions, because these actually are going to be repeatable. Once you do all of these, you'll have access to these missions, and this is how you'll actually get secure drives. You'll actually get some AUEC for each of these that you do, as well as a secure drive to turn into Wicklow. I always like to go to my inventory on the local planet, so you're going to have to always go to the main station outside of the main planet wherever you are. And in this case, I'm at Everest Harbor because I'm over in Hurston. Can't remember if I'm at Hurston right now or Bikini from ArcCorp. At any rate, just go to the main orbiting body next to your main planet, and then turn in the drive. You're going to bring up the elevator, and then bring up the drive, and then send it down. Yeah, I was at Everest Harbor there. Okay, the next mission here, we're going to go do a similar thing. We're collecting data. It's not going to be a drive this time. It is a memory card. What we're doing on the research side. Again, you're going back down to this stairway. Look at my other video if you'd like to on how to get down here. You don't want to go back up these stairs. You want to go up the other side. First, you're going to go to this panel that I'm looking at now, but you need the drive first in order to do this, the memory card. I always kind of think it's funny, all the technology that we've moved on. Everything would be cloud-based these days. But we've kind of moved back. We got to go get the USB first. And we're working with hard drives. Same thing with like drinking. Like you can't drink with a helmet on, although ever since at least when I was in the military decades ago at this point, you could drink with the tube out of a gas mask. So some glitching and stuff here or there. But anyways, go ahead and insert the memory card, and then from there you can print it. You will pull this out, and then the same thing from before, you'll have to turn it in at your main station outside of whatever area you're at. You know, if you're a Crusader, you have to go to Seraphim, Everest Harbor for Hurston, Bikini Point for ArcCorp, and then I'm forgetting the name for Microtech right now. Tressler? Port Tressler? Yeah, that's it. That's the one. So again, you want to jump down like I showed before. Went the wrong way. You need to go down. You need to stay downstairs there, and you can find the little four-way again and jump back down. Again, using old footage here. Reusable footage. But again, I'm quickly showing this just as a guide if you get stuck. But feel free to loot out here, and you know, obviously I'm doing this in a quick manner just to get this information out as quickly as possible. There was a problem with the wolf. You couldn't take the wolf out, and it was messing with the elevators at the new facilities, but it looks like they've fixed that. I noticed in this latest build that they've appeared to have fixed that problem. Because when I took the wolf out, I actually couldn't use the elevators at the facility. Like I couldn't get down to the engineering wing or the research wing. Yeah, and it wouldn't store my ship either. Alright, so just send the drive down, or the memory card in this case, and there you go. A couple missions left to go. We got 2 more to go. So next is going to be the seismic activity. You're going to go back through like we've done before. You know, snipers are going to cross the way. This time we're taking a right. Take note of this. Instead of using like heading down the stairways like we did before, we want to go to this gravity lab, and you'll have to crouch down through, and then there'll be a section you have to actually go pro. But then here's some more SRT tools. I do find it good to have a tractor beam in this section. I do kind of use it, but it's this cool room where you actually have EVA, and there's radiation in here. So these panels are here if you want to like set up a safe way to get through here. But I didn't find it to be super meaningful. Not like the next mission will be a little bit harder. There's some radiation, but again, I didn't find it necessary to have like the big Marshmallow Man suit or anything like that. Now, I should have grabbed it with my tractor beam a little further away, but anyways, I ended up just kind of storing it. And then I used the tractor beam to get back across the way. If you don't have a tractor beam, I'm sure you'll still be fine. The radiation doesn't seem to be too bad. It doesn't seem to pulsate. But you could take that panel along with you if you'd like to have protection. And you want to back up under the door. You actually have to put this blade in. Server here. I was trying to put it in the computer, but then I realized there's this like nice computer stack next to it that I have to put it in instead. Put this here, and then you're going to interact with the panel, and then from there you're good to go. It's funny, these are comp boards, so I wonder if they can work as comp board turn-ins. I love the reuse of assets, which is fine. Like that's actually a better way to go about it. I prefer them to reuse assets like this. See the 7 on it, because it's the comp board 7. Does that mean you could put a comp board 7 in there? Maybe. It's easy enough to get the board and it's all together. Alright? Then you need to make your way out of here. Next up, we're going to do the final mission. It's over in the engineering section. So this is a pretty difficult one. But at the end of the day, when I got it done, it felt good to complete it. And you can kind of skip the worm and stuff here if you'd like, but I ended up, fighting it off. I don't show that in the footage, but instead of taking the left like we've done in the past, we're going to take a right. We want to go to the right side of the facility at this time. I don't even have a sight on my P8 right here. That's a mess. I end up having to fix that during this run. I did find the tractor beam useful on this as well, this last piece here. But we're making our way around to the control room, and then we'll make our way to the back of the engineering facility, which is really cool as well. I like kind of the tram and everything. This whole thing had somewhat of Half-Life kind of vibes, which I really appreciated. Again, just be mindful of other players that might be working on this as well. Heading upstairs, and we're going to go up and around. Now, this first one, you're going to activate this server here, and then it's going to randomly spawn a blade for you to pick up. And I say randomly because it's the location it'll be at. It's not going to be the same spot that mine. It could be. Could be this spot right here, this cubby. But I found it in many different locations because I did come through here a few times to do this mission. Another comp board 7, but at any rate, yeah, when you go to do this, there's going to be, it could randomly spawn anywhere in this kind of area. It doesn't spawn that far away, but just be mindful of that. I'm going to keep following through. Don't go back the way you came, because it's important to continue on this same heading through and down the stairs on the opposite side, because that'll actually take you down. Now, every time I do this, I do find that the worm has respawned. You saw me, I killed it right before we came up here, but it does seem to respawn maybe after that activity I just did or something. Because as I come out here, I'm on the other side of the worm, and sure enough, it spawned again. There's a hole off to the left here. You can either hop down there, but I decide to take a step down the other way instead. I come down. So right there, you could probably hop down there, but instead I kind of go this way. But the goal is to go to the back of the facility here, towards the core, the power core. Now also, worms could spawn here. You see that? That's radiation that's bursting out. Mr. Kraken puts it's about every 30 seconds. That sounds about right. So do you need to safeguard yourself? There's metal along the way as well as concrete. Just use that as good cover. And then just time it out that whatever feels appropriate. Again, I did take a tractor beam back here. I found that an important thing. And so there's concrete here, and I'm just going to use that, or metal. I'm just going to use that to block the next radiation wave that comes through. You'll hear it. There'll be a nice blast. If you get hit by this, it will kill you. So that's part of the problem I ran into. See that? So that's the wave of radiation. I do give it a second because it does kind of linger afterwards. So if you leave right afterwards, if you give it a second, it'll kind of dissipate a bit. All right, we're going to head down. Try not to hit shift, hold shift here. You could fall through the floor. I don't know if they fixed the ladders just yet, but I don't recall if that made it through this patch or not. At any rate, be mindful of these ladders because you don't want to necessarily just die for no reason. Okay, and then this next section we will have to fight NPCs. But again, always be mindful every 30 seconds or so to be ready for that radiation, unless you have the fat suit on or whatever you gotta call it, the radiation suit. Then you could avoid some of this. However, again, from an FPS standpoint, it's better. I prefer to have regular armor. Matter of fact, from an armor perspective, I am wearing a heavy core, a heavy helmet, and then I wear light on arms and legs so that I can get around quicker. Something to think about, as well as a large backpack because you have the heavy core. All right, make your way through this facility. Now there's a drop down spot here, or you can just head through the ledge. Either one's fine. It's going to take you to the same spot. Take the ledge here. I did die, as you see, so I'm going back towards my body. The downside of that is I did have to re-loot the blade that I've got on me from the earlier section. And this pillar right here is pretty good for blocking the radiation if you need to use it. You're just going to parkour through that. That last part's the hardest one. And then you're going to have, this is the other vibe here, but there's an elevator here. They call it an elevator, but it's more of a tram. This reminds me again of the Half-Life, which is pretty cool. We won't wait for it, but it takes some time for it to come through. I'm obviously the power of editing, I've cut it. Make your way back to the power core. Same thing, the lovely power of editing, we are where we need to be. But that whole tram kind of reminded me of Half-Life. I like the vibe. All right, this room's important just from just remember to come back here if you need to. But at this point, there's a bunch of dudes in the big suits. So use this to protect yourself from the radiation. And then you need to kill these. It's again, see some of it's upside down. You're in the upside down. No, but it has these different platforms, and there's maybe 3 dudes or so per platform, maybe 3, 4 is usually what I saw. So just kill these guys. Having a sniper rifle here is pretty good to have, pretty important. Once you've cleared out enough, then you can EVA your way around. I'm assuming these areas where you actually have to put the panel in is probably random, but there's about 3 or 4 of these sections where you can put the panel in, but it's only going to have you put it in one. If you needed a radiation suit, I guess you could steal a suit from one of these guys. But again, I find the armor to be more important. Now, again, I had dropped, because I had died, I had to go back and get my my board. Initially, I had a problem putting the board. It wasn't inserting from the store, so I had to put it on the floor so I could pick it up. So I did have it in my hand when I went to go turn it, not turn it in, but to plug it into the system here. Again, be mindful of the radiation burst. So just use this section as you see it. You'll see the green in this case as it gets ready to burst. Because that's what killed me, is I took too much radiation. And you see I went out too soon there, and it still almost killed me again. Insert it here, and then you're going to hit the panel down below and start Now I decided to be a little more mindful of the radiation here, and there's some panels here you can hide behind.
That's what we're looking for. Get out of there and take it to the drop-off.
About done here now. Hopefully this has been helpful for y'all. Let me all know if you have any questions. I'll put the chapters in if you want to skip around a bit, or if you need to come back to any particular section. So as you make your way through, again, you need to grab this new drive, and this is what will turn in. And this actually will give you 10 secure drives to go towards Wicklow. So you'll have 15 total after doing all these missions. And then at that point, it'll be a process of getting 1H. Now, I didn't actually end up going this way. I had to cut it. I'm going to end up going back out the back. So if you continue through the opposite direction where you came in at, there's actually another ASD platform on the backside. So I would take that one, because there's actually 3 of the orange boxes back here for the new gear and that stealth armor, and they all came with cores, each one of these. So I think this is where getting the cores actually more beneficial, the chest piece. Because every time when I was looking throughout the facility, I always found the legs and the arms. It seems like just the cores spawn possibly back here, until they update that. So there's 2 in that room, and then there's some other loot in there, and then there's a 3rd box over here. And then you can make your way back out the facility this way as well. There's a way to get back to the lobby back here. Area. Then head back through and just make your way through, and you'll be able to head back to the lobby. And then again, you want to do the turn in. I had made my way over to Crusader at some point, so I'm just going to head over to Seraphim. That about wraps it up. Again, once you do all these missions, turn all these in, you're going to have access then to all 4 of the last missions we did. I think they may have an internal cooldown, but the goal is to complete the missions. You get more money, like that last one's harder, right? So you get almost 100k for doing that. It's like 91k for doing that mission, and you get 1 drive per mission. So once you've done this, you've now unlocked the full, kind of Onyx facility experience. And at that point, you can just go back there to loot more. And again, you get access to, so you see the 10 drives there, go to your main facility. In my case, I'm for main home place. So Orison is where I'm at. So again, now you go to offers and investigation. You'll see there's 4 missions, and it's the last 4 missions we just did with the varying amount of money. However, each one only gives you 1 secure drive. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful for y'all. Let me know if you have any questions. I can hope to get those answered. I'm looking forward to releasing this today, because it looks like the patch is probably on its way. Hopefully it's in a pretty workable state. It's pretty good. I've actually had a pretty good PTO experience. So anyways, thank you for checking out the video. Appreciate those taking time to like and subscribe. Again, check that link down below for Mr. Kraken's information on this. It was very helpful. All right, catch y'all next time. Peace.